All right, welcome everyone to Friday. We're finally getting this system down and working the way it should be. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be starting my first campaign online with Roll20. Got people signed up to play. Saturday nights will be the Cantonese game and Sunday nights will be an English game. The Cantonese game is almost full. There's 6 out of 7 players already on that. And some of them have also signed up for the English, and there are also a couple of players that are only signing up for the English. So there are still 2 or 3 slots left on the English side. But basically, I'm taking the idea of what's called the Adventurers League that I've talked about in the past, going through the modules. So even though if you really wanted the spoilers, you could go online and find them, but the idea is just to be able to play the game and have fun. And I'm very happy that I'm going to have a lot of new players. People that have wanted to play for a while but didn't get the chance, couldn't make the time, and now with the Roll20 I've made it very convenient for them. So let me show you what. Now I went through videos in the past week talking about making the character sheet inside of D&D Beyond. And at the last time I tried to do this, there was a pretty complicated process of taking the character sheet from D&D Beyond and transferring it into Roll20. As I was preparing today, I found out you don't have to do it so difficult. You don't have to pull your teeth anymore to make this work. And so that's what I'm going to show today. I will also be filming a Cantonese version of this a little bit later on, and I'll post that to YouTube only tonight. So if you want to see the Cantonese version of this, pay attention and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not yet. Really need your help there. But I don't want to just ask for your help just for the sake of asking for your help. I want to provide something that is useful to you. If I'm not providing useful content to you, I don't want you to subscribe. But if it's stuff that's useful and will help you either to learn English or just to have a good time enjoying yourself playing Dungeons and Dragons, gaining the benefits of role-playing game and building your social skills, then check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. So for the purpose of today, I made a quick character inside of the campaign. This is the Adventurers League. HK is the Hong Kong, what I've called my Hong Kong campaign. I made an Aarakocra, which is a bird person, monk, just because I wanted to make it very quickly. Very simple. I'm not going to go in too much about what this character can do. That's not the purpose of today's build. Although after I introduced Roll20, I did promise someone who had left a comment before about the character builds, making a cowboy character, and I'm going to just demonstrate that afterwards. But for the time being, let's jump over into showing you Roll20 And so I've logged into Roll20 here. You can see this is a Roll20 page. When you log in, you will see this is the chat dialog box. Now to log into this, there's a link here that I'm not going to show right now. I've only sent it to those people who, or I will be sending it, I should say. I'll be sending it later on to people who have paid me to play in this game, because I am charging for my time for this, because there's a lot of benefits for it, and I'm charging a little bit more than the price it would cost to go play in a game room, but I'm giving you a lot more value for your money. I've put a lot of work and effort into this, but truth is, it's not a lot more. You go to a game room for a night, you're probably gonna, if it's a decent one, you're gonna pay 80 Hong Kong dollars. I'm only charging 100. So for now, it's a steal. Might go up in the future, but for now, 100 per person per night. Even have some discounts if you buy multiple sessions at once. So back to what my players need to know about Roll20. So here is the journal, third tab over. Now I am working off of the DM screen right now. I'm going to switch that in a minute, just so that the players can see what's going on. But we're going to create a character. Okay, I'm going to click to upload a picture, and let's get a picture from my art library. So here is our Eric Hokra monk. And the very first important step, and this is something that I'll be doing for my players, this first step, that's why I'm doing it from the DM screen. But it's very important that the name of the character in Roll20 is the same as in D&D Beyond. The two names have to be the same. That's the first thing that makes it work. So I put the individual player can control the character. Okay, and I'm going to save changes like that. Okay, and we can minimize that. There's a bunch of cool features in D&D Beyond and Roll20, especially Roll20 to be a virtual tabletop. I'm not going to go through all of them in this video. I will be doing quite a few of them in session 0. Actually, tomorrow we're combining session 0 and 1 together, just to go over some basic rules with the players, let them know what they expect, find out what they expect from me, review their characters, and then we're going to jump into the first adventures. So session 0 and 1 all in one package to get things started tomorrow night. Okay, next step. We need to go into my assets, and I'm going to take a token that I've named, and I'm on the token board, so the token goes in there. Okay, we're going to double click on the token and make it represent the character. Okay, now right now it's not showing anything in the stats. Okay, the first thing we need to do to make sure that these two web pages can communicate with each other is install what's called Beyond 20. This is an extension. I'm using Firefox when I run Roll20. So my D&D Beyond is also in Firefox. It also works with Chrome or any Chrome-based browsers. But you need to, it's available on Chrome. There's a version for Firefox. So you just need to open up, Google search for Beyond 20, and then for the version if you're using Chrome or if you're using Firefox, whichever you like. And then install that. And you'll know that you have it installed when you see this little button here, this little Beyond 20 button. Now, the first and simplest thing that we're going to do is over here. We're going to go, now you also see in Roll20, and down here at the bottom, there is a red B. That's the Beyond 20 logo. Okay, there are some settings here. The only setting that I've changed to begin with is the type of roll, always roll twice. That just saves time so that you don't have to go and change that. If you don't have advantage or disadvantage on your roll, then you're just going to take the first die result on the left. Then if it's a roll that you have advantage on, you take the higher of the two numbers. If you have disadvantage, you have the lower of the two numbers, but that's going to come out for you right away. Okay, there's a bunch of more settings here that you can play with. One very important thing is add initiative roll to the turn tracker. That's going to save a lot of time. These are things that I was having to do individual macros for before, which was a pain in the butt. Okay, it's got the character sheet, so this is how it keeps track of the information. So that's all the same. Same thing, you can actually access the same settings from D&D Beyond. Okay, but one place, it's one extension for all of the browsers, so you do it once and it works in both places. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is set up our health monitor. Now, I like to use, so we're going to go on the token here, and I like to use the red bar for health, monitoring health. So what we're going to do is click, it says none here. We're going to click and scroll down to HP. There's HP. And we're just going to type in a 0 for now. Oh, 1 0 is enough. And save changes. Now, if we go to our hit points here, and let's say that we're gonna make 1 point of damage, and then it automatically updates it. You see here, it just gave us a bar 9 out of 10. Shows this character has 9 hit points. If we heal it, it goes back up. And that's all controlled from D&D Beyond character sheet, which is wonderful. I think a lot of players of D&D now are used to using D&D Beyond for controlling their character sheets because it's so convenient and so well written. So to be able to use this extension to easily transfer over is a major lifesaver. Saving a lot of time, Okay, so basically, this is our monk. He's going to go and attack. So you would go to your attack, you hit the button, and you see that over here in Roll20, it rolled 18 and an 8. So we didn't say if there's advantage or disadvantage, so it's going to take the first 18 as the roll to hit, and if that's a hit, it automatically rolled the damage, D4 for damage, automatic roll. So it's so cool, save a lot of time. Now, Roll20 has a feature that I was playing with before to roll digital dice, and although that looks cool, and when I was experimenting with Roll20 to do the Cantonese version of Critical Role that I was working on, I wanted to show the dice roll to new people who'd never played D&D and wanted to watch us play the game. But I learned today that it sucks up a lot of bandwidth. So I decided not to use the digital dice anymore. We've got the information we need in the chat bar, and that's good enough. Okay, so those are some very simple things. I'll go over that in a little more detail in Cantonese in the YouTube video a couple hours from now, so you can look forward to that later tonight. Now, let's go back to this page, and I wanted to make, oops, not there. I'm going to go to DnDBeyond. All right, we had someone request cowboy character. So we're going to go to standard. And let's call this, let's call our gunslinger Dirty Harry. Okay. We'll make him human. Keep it simple. Now, the class, all right. I have not subscribed to enough classes in D&D Beyond to use the character that the class. So we're going to have to go back to my campaigns. Okay. We're going to create a new unassigned character inside of this campaign. In this campaign, I'm sharing content with some of my other players just to give a lot more options. Just to make sure we don't have a bump into a problem. Dirty Harry 2. Okay, you'll notice the list just got a lot longer because we have access to a lot more content in this campaign. This way I can do everything. Okay. Choose a human. Now, the closest thing to a gunslinger in official D&D is probably going to be the Artificer. Because they are inventors. And this depends upon your DM giving you access to gunpowder. There are campaign rules in D&D for gunpowder because there are some campaigns that dealt with it. My homebrewed world that I'm working on that will come out next year, and I'll start new campaigns on that next year. It's based on medieval China and and actually all of Asia together. So I will be introducing gunpowder into that setting because I think it would make sense because they had gunpowder. They didn't use it the same way, but those are things that I'll be playing with in that homebrew world. Okay, and now to get type of artificer we're needing, we're going to have to get to level 3. So let's add the class and let's jump it up to level 3. Artificer specialist. He's going to special in artillerist. Okay, artillery is going to be how he's going to be a gunslinger. Okay, as I normally do in my character builds, I jump before I fill out the class abilities. I jump right to description, and we have a ton more options. And we're going to say that this. Let's try. Okay. So this is an engineer, which is going to be one of the type of skills he's going to need in D&D world to be a cowboy and a gunslinger. He's going to have to be an engineer. So getting very technical here. He is going, so that gives him Arcana and Investigation, which are going to be very useful. We are going to give him skill in Mason tools so that he can use, Smith's tools is what I meant. Smith's tools, so that he can make the components for his guns. Okay, languages are not important at the moment. Okay, now we'll go back to his class. Okay, first his proficiencies, that's his first level. Okay, let's give him perception. As I've mentioned before, that's very important for just about anything. Let's give him sleight of hand, and his tool, he already has Smith's tools from his background, so let's give him some leatherworking tools as well to help make, or no, carpenter's tools to make a wooden handle for his gun. Okay, good. All right. Now, this is a class that I've only heard about. This is my first time making this class, so you'll see me thinking a lot here about what options to choose. Okay. Now, this class, though, they come from the setting in Forgotten Realms called Eberron, where there's a lot of interesting technology going on, magical technology. So they're able to, let's see, enhanced weapon. Okay, that way he can improve his gunslinging weapon. He's going to be a cowboy that's a quick shot, so repeating shot to allow him to shoot faster. Okay. Replicate magic item. Okay, you can something goes wrong with your gun, you can replicate it. And let's see. I think this will also be helpful. Just making him more accurate. Our cowboy, we want him to be a quick shot. We want him to be Okay. Now, interesting. I was not expecting this replicate magic item to come with so let's see, walloping ammunition. Okay, this gives him the ability to make this special ammunition for his gun that will, so that he is a more effective cowboy. So he's a smart cowboy. He's James West would have actually been a better name for this cowboy than Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry's not really the Wild Wild West anyway. That was just the first one that came to my mind. So let's change his name to James West. He's a smarter cowboy. Okay, abilities. Now, I need to go back to the Artificer class and learn a little bit more about it. His spellcasting ability is intelligence. Okay, that's what I needed to check in setting his abilities to know which one is going to be the most important. So we're going to first, highest is going to be intelligence. He's going to be a quick draw. He's going to be healthy. And he's not going to be he's not going to be very charming. Even though this is a tough decision. If you remember and know who James West is, he was actually pretty charming. So let's do it that way. Let's make strength. Yeah. He's really smart cowboy who knows how to use his so-called magic for the time, because when firepower was first used, that's what it was treated. It's the black magic powder. And he uses it very quickly. So let's take a look at what kind of equipment. Any two simple weapons. Now this we're gonna have to go with the gold option for him, because he's gonna have to buy things. Now I don't know how much it's gonna cost, so I'm not gonna do it random. I'm just gonna go for the maximum starting gold. Okay. Inventory, we want to add items. The weapon is the name antimatter rifle. That's going a little bit too far. All right, pistol, that's what we want. Now let's see how much that costs in syrup. That's 150 gold. So that's going to be almost all of his starting money right there. The rest is almost irrelevant. But let's take a look. The most important for our cowboy is his pistol. Now let's take a look at how that looks. So, firearm does 1d10 of piercing damage. That bullet's going to pierce through armor. Okay. So here's our information on that. So there's a lot of stuff that I need to go through to get to know this, but that would be the basics of the cowboy build. You'll have to start at level 1, get to level 3 before you get to be really efficient to be a quick shot. There's my cowboy build. Okay, so my Friday broadcasts are not as fast, or not as long. I only try and go around half an hour to keep things simple. I hope you found that useful. Again, if you're still interested in joining, there's 1 slot in the Cantonese, 2 or 3 slots in the English. I have to go double check, but feel free to PM me, and we can talk about payment and get you in. If you can't make it this weekend, that's cool. The whole idea behind the Adventurers League is I want to have a pool of about 10 players, and the first 3 to 7 players to register every week will be the ones that get to come in and play that week. And I'm actually changing it to an XP base. In conventions where they use Adventurers League, it was milestone based level advancement. I'm going to change that back to XP based because I'm doing it a little bit different, and I think XP is going to be more fair. I will be adding XP for role-playing situations and not just for killing monsters, because I want to reward people for being creative. So that's all for this week's broadcast. Again, I hope this was useful to you. Look forward to your comments, either in the Facebook pages or on YouTube, and I will have the full YouTube video on the Roll20 and D&D Beyond later tonight. All right, thanks a lot. See y'all later. Bye.